So that's kind of all I was wanting to talk about in terms of the political things today. I want to talk about crypto now because that's been a topic that I've been very interested in for a few months now. And I have learned a lot about it in a short amount of time. I'm not an expert. I'm not offering financial advice either. I am merely observing and I'm offering my opinions on those observations, and I'm offering to tell you my experiences and what I'm interested in. So just take that with a giant chunk of salt. To tie into what I was just talking about with 107, he actually isn't supporting crypto. One of the people who I've referred to a lot for information on the quantum financial system was Charlie Ward, and I still pay attention to him and the people that he's in a circle with because he just concentrates on the, well, he doesn't just concentrate on it, but he concentrates on the financial system related events. And he's been big about XRP. He says that the quantum financial system is being integrated into the different financial systems all over the world, that they're testing it to find out the corrupt people who are still trying to fight it and all this stuff. It's naturally very hard for me to really believe that 100% just because I'm a skeptic. But when Juan piped up and said that he's not really supporting it, and that crypto basically equals cabal, that kind of got me uncomfortable. But interestingly enough, one of the crypto guys who I pay attention to and who I've actually shown on here, his YouTube channel is called The Bearable Bull, and he talks very slow, so if you speed him up, it's okay. But he just had a video recently where he talked, well, I think it was him, he talked about how the people who are running the crypto market are not good people. They're part of the problem all over the world in every country because they're trying to manipulate the financial systems in order to enrich themselves. And with these new technologies, which is basically cryptocurrency, they're trying to use that to their advantage as well. And I agree with that. I agree with that, and I agree with one. However, you can't stop technological process or progress. You can't stop increasing efficiency. The internet is a tool that can be used for good or bad. The technology itself is not good or bad, and it's done way more good than it has bad, in my opinion. There are many other things out there that themselves are tools. For instance, a knife and a fork and a spoon. It can sustain you or it can make you extremely obese. It's up to you. A very good example is a gun. A gun can be used for good or bad. It can be used as a tool to protect you, or it can be used as a tool to hurt others. But it's ultimately just an inanimate object. It is a tool. So I'm seeing XRP, well, I'm seeing crypto as a tool. I think that one way or another, this technology will be how the big financial companies and systems and world financing and that kind of community operates, because we're talking about changing away from a current system which is called Swift, which takes days and days to process a transaction, to technologies that can process transactions in hours and minutes and even seconds in the case of XRP and others such as XLM. I don't think that that's avoidable. I think that it's a good thing that those are out there, and I think that there are bad people who are mainly in charge of those right now, but that does not mean that people like you and I and good people cannot capitalize on those opportunities that are being presented. there are many people, even in the crypto community, that think that Bitcoin was basically a government project to eventually root out corruption and money laundering and things like that. And if you look at the new technologies compared to Bitcoin, Bitcoin operates off of a proof of work system, which is very energy inefficient. There have been multiple big names coming out denouncing Bitcoin for its energy inefficiency because it's not climate friendly and all that horse shit. Um, they're part of the problem because they were the ones propping it up in order to help their investments, and now they're on to the next thing, and they're saying that it's a bad idea in order to make them look like they're intelligent to, the sheep out there in the public. So what I'm saying is that you can use something that's not inherently good in a good way, or you can use something neutral in a good way or in a bad way. But in my case, and in many other people's cases, we're investing in this in a good way, and it's not saying that I support the people who are behind it and who are using it for nefarious reasons, but I'm also pragmatic enough to know that I can make my life that much more prosperous if I can capitalize on these opportunities. And hell, I might even be able to eventually use what I earn and what I learn against all of these horrible people. Now that would be poetic justice in my eyes. So, with that out of the way, for anyone who's heard about it at all, we've had a major crash in the crypto market for the last week or so. Bitcoin was at like mid 50s on a pretty normal rate. It peaked at like 65. It got all the way down to like 32,000. I think it's at like 35,000 right now. Um, Everything in the crypto community basically took a 50% hit. I'm invested in XRP and XLM. I'm interested in Vechain as well. And right now, if you are buying the dip, it's a great time, because this is not going to go away. Well, I think technologies like XRP and XLM and possibly VeChain will not go away. But things like Ether and Bitcoin may not always be around in a very prominent way as it is right now. The things like XRP and XLM are the future because it operates off of a different technology than Bitcoin, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands of times more efficient and quicker and more effective. And the creators of XRP have worked with multiple banks all over the world, like in Japan, now in Egypt. They've worked with England. They get invited to conferences with the BIS, which is the Bank of International Settlements, which is basically the World Bank. No, it's the World Central Bank that basically dictates how other central banks operate. They have been working with them for years and years and years. Uh, Ripple, who's the company who created XRP and who owns it, they just brought on Rosie Rios onto their board of advisors, or their board of directors. She was a U.S. treasurer. She would not go to be associated that much with a company that was not going to be one of the major advancements in finance and in the future of finance and crypto technologies. That just wouldn't happen. She would not associate herself with just anything. XRP is going to be here to stay. It may not be the only thing, but it'll be one of the big things. I from what I'm aware of, I don't know how old these numbers are now, but if you own 2,000 XRP or more, you're in the top 10% of XRP holders Yeah, not just in the country. You are in the top 10% of XRP holders. I am at that point. I'm also heavily invested in XLM. I'm heavily invested in gold, silver, and I have a little platinum as well. Um, so just do your own research. I've posted some videos. I've included it in my uh, podcast. I've explained more of what XRP and XLM and these alternative investments are, and I I'm I'm I really think that XRP and XLM and others are going to be the future of the financial system, and I don't think anyone thinks it'll happen. Well, a lot of people do, but a lot of the uneducated people don't think it'll happen because of Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, they started out at not even a cent, and Bitcoin peaked at $65,000. I'm not saying that XRP or anything else will hit $65,000, but they're under $1 on average right now, and a bunch of them are way under that. I mean, even like half of that. So I have set myself up at the start of what I think will be a major revolution in the financial system in every country on earth. And I'm happy about that. And I'm not pumping the brakes either. I plan on expanding my investment options, and I'm not stopping because I'm not putting in anything I can't afford. I'm not putting in anything that I can't afford to not have anymore. And I think it's a good bet. And at the end of the day, it's a bet. Okay, so with the crypto crash that I talked about, major exchanges were down. Things like Coinbase, Binance, Gemini. I think there was a list going around of 9 major uh, crypto exchanges were completely down at the peak of the crypto crash, and a bunch of them have had short-term outages for a while now because of the ups and downs, and so th- there are a lot of people in the crypto community, and even in my more politically minded bunch, who are saying that this crash is a coordinated effort to get average people out of the crypto market so that the big boys can come in and take even more of it and it'll go back up. I'm not about to get out of it. I think you should get in. I think I will get even farther in, but it it there's a lot of chatter about it being a coordinated thing, and I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that I would I don't put that past anyone. I think that that's very likely, actually. I think that there's a lot of changes happening in our country and in the government and in the elite heights of our society that control just about everything. And I don't think that that's unplanned. So it's an opportunity right now. It's still extremely low. If you're interested in it, I would check it out now. I use Uphold to buy XRP. You can buy others, but the problem is they don't make it very easy to transfer uh, your crypto off of their exchange. I actually have a cold wallet, so it's not hooked up to the internet at all, and I'm only able to transfer some cryptos out of the Uphold platform. So it's extremely easy though, and it's easy to hook it up on a card, and they are one of the exchanges who do offer XRP in the SEC lawsuit right now, which I will talk about here in a minute. But I think it's a good option if you're concentrating on XRP and XLM and a couple of others. But it's probably not the option that you want if you're interested in other things. One of the less big name exchanges that I think is actually a very good option. A bunch of the more crypto minded people use this one and they talk about it more, is actually called crypto.com, and it isn't only a website, it also has an app. But that one has a lot more buying and selling options compared to Uphold, and it did not go down with the crash of this past week. It was up, which says something in my opinion. You can also buy Vechain on there and actually transfer it off of the exchange. So I I I think that one's a little bit more cumbersome. It's not as quick. You have to hook up an account to it and you have to transfer in your investment funds. So it takes an ACH or a wire, so it's that much more complicated, but it's a very good option for people who are actually more serious about this. So I have a referral code for anyone who's interested. It is BEUUTWH5JZ. I don't think anyone will remember that, and if I put this on Facebook or YouTube or Rumble, I'll have that in the description. But if anyone's interested in it, I would go check it out. So I'm talking more about the crashes being coordinated because I've also heard more crypto community chatter about a major stock market correction coming soon. And we've all heard these predictions forever. You know, the sky is falling, everything's going to hell in a handbasket, and I never pay attention to these things. But there's some interesting nuances that make me want to talk about this. There's been too much money printing since this whole COVID horse shit came out. The whole COVID situation was an excuse for the government to print more money than they ever have before. So, for example, I have an article here I found because I was wanted to have a good source. 35% of all U.S. dollars in existence have been printed in the last 10 months. And this is from December of 2020. So that percentage is going to go up with any more COVID related spending legislation. This whole infrastructure thing that Congress is trying to do right now would be 1.7 trillion, which again, that percentage is only going to go up. That time span is extending a little bit, but we are printing money like it's just going out of style, and it is going out of style because I think that the U.S. dollar won't always be the currency of the earth. I think that cryptocurrencies will control that, like XRP. But if you compare the amount of money that we printed to 1929, which a lot of you know is when the stock market crashed that caused the Great Depression in America and in many other parts of the world, which was related to a lot of things about World War One and Germany and the League of Nations, which is the UN, which basically created all of it. But I read it somewhere or heard someone say it. It was like 6 or 9%. At that time in 1929, the government had increased the money supply by about 6 or 9%. We're at 35% right now, and that crash took out the world for years. What would this one do? So again, I'm not a sky is falling type, but that perked my ears up because it's not only coming from my more patriotic patriot movement 107 types of people. It's coming from the crypto people as well, who are pretty much anarchists at best. Most of them probably lean to the left on a lot of social issues, especially. But there's something going on if multiple communities are talking about this. And again, I'm not predicting anything, I'm just offering my commentary on aggregated information. So I've already gotten everything out of the stock market and traditional investments. At my new job, I'm actually not utilizing the 401k. I will put uh, that which I would have put in there into mainly crypto right now. I already have a lot of physical gold and silver and a little platinum through an IRA. So I'm pretty confident in my investments. But if you're like me and if you're nervous and if you've been putting together this information and if you've been becoming more and more uncertain, I would definitely at least look into these kinds of alternate investments, especially gold and silver and platinum and things like that. There are a lot of IRA things out there that offer that. I can suggest a couple of them if you're interested. If you contact me, either through my Facebook page, As Goes Texas Podcast, you email me, asgoestexas@gmail.com. I'll be happy to offer any advice I can. Not financial advice, though. um, so, yeah, XRP, XLM, silver and gold, like I said, probably a month and a half ago now, those look very attractive. Vechain is another crypto that has a great entry point right now. There's a lot of technological opportunity around that because they're very concentrated on the supply chain end of things and the applications around that. I haven't gotten too far into it, so I don't want to go talk about it a whole lot, but I think that's a great opportunity at the moment as well. And yeah, I think that it's time to seriously look at crypto and gold and silver and alternate investments because I'm not hearing anything good about the stock market. And with Secretary Yellen coming out and talking about 4 to 5% inflation and the price of wood gone through the roof, which will impact construction, which will impact home prices. With the cost of gas being what it is, it's going to impact transportation. It's going to impact the cost of things on the shelf of the grocery store. If that inflation gets out of control, which it probably will, which they won't present it in a way that it'll appear out of control, but our purchasing power is going to go straight down and all of the prices are going to go straight up. And it'd be a very good idea to look at what you can do to try to protect yourself. And the best place to do that is alternate investments that are not tied to the elites and the cabal and the current financial system. So yeah, that's all I was wanting to say today. I think that kind of covered everything that I've been wanting to talk about for a couple of weeks now, but didn't have enough to put together. So I don't know how often I'm going to put these out. Hopefully things will happen and I'll have more to talk about. But until then, I think I'm just going to coast. I'll pop in every now and then. I don't think anyone's hanging on the edge of their seat to hear my opinion, but hell, I'm still going to offer it. So until next time, I'm out.